If you don't follow the culture, you can't have the wedding.
Don't start me with that. Why he needs so many cows, I don't even know. Like, lay off Gregory.
Well, at least I'm telling you, I could have just run off to New Orleans or something.
Well, you could. I mean, of course you could. I just don't understand if it's the best decision.
I think it's the best decision.
To be honest, she's giving me bisexual vibes again. Women being together is totally wrong in my culture, and I'm not okay with it.
Yeah, there's a lot happening between Greg and Joan and Stevi and Mahdi. Family drama and huge doubts are putting weddings in jeopardy. But before we get to that, let's kick off proceedings with Greg and Joan. So, the last time we saw them, Greg had just gone for a job interview, and while there's no news about how that's gone yet, we join them in this episode with Lucille, Greg's mum, entering their bedroom just as Joan has had a shower, and it's safe to say, Lucille isn't happy.
Before she goes to bed, she'll take a shower, and then another shower in the morning. I'm like, how dirty is your bed that you need to take another shower? I always say, oh, the royal showers.
Look, I hate to break it to Greg's mum, but they are an engaged couple. There's a good chance that they're doing more than just sleeping in that bed.
I'm sure you don't make me wet.
I already did.
Maybe that's why she wants a shower, or maybe not. I mean, is it really the crime of the century to want to have a shower in the morning? Like, it's crazy to me that a grown adult is in a situation where she has to justify how many showers she takes. Now, thankfully, they quickly move on from that topic because Lucille has something much more serious she wants to discuss.
You know, with the wedding, having it here, it's going to be a lot of people. A lot for me to do.
Lucille knows her son, right? She knows him all too well. She knows that if the wedding is going to take place at her house, she's going to be responsible for a lot, if not all, of the preparation, and she isn't prepared for that. So, she drops a massive bombshell on them. I don't want you to have your wedding in my garden, she tells them. I want you to check out this venue that I found instead. I think this little hall, as she calls it, might be the perfect place for you guys to have your wedding.
This place included everything. Cocktail hour, food.
I could probably make better food.
Flowers, included photography, included DJ.
And they even include a 3-tiered wedding cake as well. Now, believe me, as someone who got married relatively recently in the States, I know this sort of package is expensive, right? And that's something that clearly scares Greg and Joan. They don't have that luxury. They don't have money. Greg still doesn't have a reliable source of income, and he's also in debt, let's not forget. He was banking on being able to do things for cheap at home. So it's no surprise that he's not really on board with his mum's suggestion.
I think it's a little crazy, I really do. We've talked about this multiple times with her. I was preparing for the wedding at home, trying to make invitations, get everything going, and all of a sudden, hey, I went to a venue.
Greg feels blindsided, and Joan is also very resistant. Like, in her mind, I'm sure that she thinks that money, the money that they'd spend on a venue, would be far better used as putting down a deposit on their own home, or renting somewhere perhaps. But this isn't their home, it's Greg's mum's home. So if she doesn't want them to have a wedding there, well, they can't have it there. Now, clearly sensing the resistance in the room, Greg's mum asks how much their budget is for the wedding, and Greg goes on to explain he has $5,000 to cover not just the wedding, but also the dowry. Ah yes, the dowry. Yeah, it turns out that the dowry is a big bone of contention within the family. Like, Lucille just doesn't understand it.
Why he needs so many cows, I don't even know. But her answer, oh, that's my culture, that's my culture. Like, lay off Gregory, you know? Give him a break.
Yep, it's safe to say that Lucille is salty about this dowry. But, Lucille, the uncomfortable truth here is if you hadn't babied Greg so much, perhaps he might now be a more responsible, independent adult, capable of doing things by himself, paying for things by himself. Now, Lucille's problem with the dowry seems to stem from the fact that she can't understand the reason why it's needed. She doesn't understand that it's a way for him to prove that he can care for Joan. You already care for her, she says. Can't they see that by now? Why do you need to prove it with cows?
If you don't follow the culture, you can't have the wedding.
I went to Uganda, I fell in love with Joan, and this is what it's going to be. It's not going to change. It hasn't changed in thousands of years. It's not going to change now.
It's good to see that Greg is firmly on Joan's side here. Both Greg and Joan are frustrated with his mum, her lack of understanding, the cancellation of the wedding in the garden, and even more so the fact that she's now forcing them to go and take a look at this venue that they don't want. So while Lucille loves the idea of someone else taking care of everything for a change, all that Greg and Joan can think about are the costs involved.
Feeling a little tension on the way to the venue. Budget is everything. And I'm just so tired of the I really am. I'm just ready to party. Ready to get wasted.
I'm not sure about that, Greg. I'm not sure that your bride is going to appreciate a wasted groom on her wedding day. Something tells me he might not get away with that. But you know another thing that he might not get away with? The venue. You see, as soon as they walk in, it becomes pretty evident that this is going to be costly. Way, way over his budget.
Very nice.
It is. Yep, it's one of the, I think, nicer venues, not because I work here. It's just we do an awful lot of weddings.
It's a nice place. It's a place that will take care of everything from the food, the drink, the flowers. Like, they even include an all-night open bar. Given that Greg said he expects about 70 plus guests, you've got to imagine an all-night open bar as part of the package isn't going to come cheap. Don't get me wrong, like, it's a lovely place to have a wedding, but it's a lovely place if you have a large budget, which they don't. But for now, Greg is busy thinking about something else.
Where would we put the cows?
In the parking.
The parking lot across
So
the
the
street.
MC will be like, oh, the groom also bought cows, so the cows are in the parking.
Luckily for the venue, the cows won't really be attending. Can you imagine? Now, this does give us an interesting insight into just how playful these two can be with each other. We have seen it a couple of times now, like they do bounce off each other quite well. They have a good sense of humour between them. But, unfortunately, humour, escapism, can only get you so far. Then, we go back to reality, back to the budget. You see, when asked for the cost of all of this, the guy showing them around tells them that he'll be able to do it for about $8,900. Now, that is actually a pretty good deal considering everything that's included, but it's still way over what Joan and Greg can afford. So, what's the solution? Well, yet again, Lucille comes to her son's rescue.
You think you could pitch in maybe just $1,000?
Yeah.
Then your father and I will pay the rest, and you don't have to worry about anything. You just walk in and look beautiful.
Lucille is once again coddling Greg, right? But I can't even be mad about it. This is an incredibly generous offer, a lovely offer. An offer that even Joan can't believe how lucky she is to have. Look, Joan is a very self-aware lady. She knows just how much they already rely on Greg's family. Like, I think it says a lot about her and her character that she's so hesitant about accepting this generous offer for that reason.
If you have to depend on people, you always a burden. They have like to feed me, they have to take care of me. We are already staying in her house, so seeing her offering to pay for it, so I'm like, wow.
Greg and Joan are blown away. They say that they will always be grateful for this incredible gift. But Greg's mum sees it very differently. She says that this is just family looking out for each other. This is just what families do. Plus, she adds, I enjoy helping you guys. I enjoy it because you deserve it. I know how grateful you are.
I know you show your appreciation every day. You know, I'm getting emotional again. No, you do, Joan. You're always helping out and
that is lovely to hear, isn't it? After their miscommunication and disagreement from the last episode, just as it was looking like Lucille and Joan might fall out, in fact, their relationship is stronger now than it ever has been. Despite her quirks, despite her sometimes overbearing ways, Lucille might just turn out to be a great mother-in-law. And this has to be a big weight lifted off Greg and Joan's shoulders. Now, on that topic, Stevi and Mahdi also have the weight of a big wedding on their shoulders. You see, after Mahdi proposed again, we join them in this episode as they're starting to make big plans for their future.
I need to buy a portable bidet. I'm
Maddie,
gonna put it
no.
in your purse.
Maddie, no.
I swear.
You're gonna try to put your butt washer in my purse?
Okay, so besides plans for a purse B-day, there's also a few other things that they need to consider. They want to bring the wedding date forward so that they can save themselves some money. As I'm sure you recall, if they get married earlier, then the paperwork will be cheaper and Maddie can start working sooner. Now, while financially that might make sense, it also means that they not only have to plan a wedding in record time, but they also have to convince Stevie's dad that they're not crazy. Everything relies on us getting my dad's support, Stevie tells Maddie.
Would you call the wedding off?
I don't think I could get married if Dad wasn't walking me down the aisle.
Oh.
There's a lot riding on his approval. Now remember, Stevie's dad did agree to give Maddie his blessing to propose to Stevie again, but he also made it pretty clear that he thought that they should take their time before getting married. Yeah, hearing that the wedding is being pushed forward so much earlier could potentially change his mind completely. They might lose his blessing altogether. So, with those fears swirling around in their minds, they decide that first step, before they actually begin to plan the wedding, is to actually discuss this with Stevie's dad. And at first, things seem to be going pretty well.
Maddie took me on a surprise.
Oh, what? No.
You didn't tell me.
What?
He said he showed you this. Did he show you this?
Yeah, but it wasn't there.
Her dad can be pretty sweet and supportive, can't he? But, and there is a big but here, that support quickly turns to concern when he hears just how quickly they want to get married. Like, he didn't even realise that Maddie was going to propose again so quickly, let alone actually get married so soon. So their plan is very worrying for him.
Well, at least I'm telling you, I could have just run off to New Orleans or something.
Well, I mean, you could. I mean, of course you could. I just don't understand if it's the best decision.
I think it's the best decision.
Is it just me, or is this a terrible way to have gone about it? Telling your dad that you could have just run off and got married without him isn't exactly the best way to get him on board with your new plans. In fact, it's a good way to piss him off, isn't it? Now, for as much as her dad doesn't think that they've known each other for long enough, he also knows that Stevie is an adult. She's capable of making her own decisions, and this is ultimately her decision.
So will you walk me down the aisle if that's my decision?
If you want me to, I'd love to walk you down the aisle.
Thanks.
And just like that, thanks to her dad's support, things have totally changed. They are now planning a wedding in only 2 weeks. It's crazy, isn't it? And now, the first thing that they have to do is to figure out where they're going to get married. They need a venue. You see, it turns out they phoned a bunch of them, but on such short notice, there was only one that had a spot available. Now, just to add to the complexity here, Maddie is used to very different types of weddings. He's used to weddings where men and women have completely separate parties, so he's not exactly going to be much help with the planning, which is precisely why Stevie decides to call in reinforcement in the form of her friend Claire. Maddie has never met Claire before. They're meeting for the very first time whilst planning his wedding, looking at the venue.
Hey, I'm Claire.
She already knows everything
Nice
about
to meet
you.
Maddie.
I do. This is my husband, Whit.
Oh, nice to meet you.
And then this is our baby, Evie.
Oh,
Isn't
she's
she
so
cute?
Yeah.
Now, as it turns out, the baby is adorable, the venue is pretty, and her friends are nice. So all round, the vibe is good. But Stevi and Mahdi have no idea just how quickly that's going to change. You see, as they check out the venue, Claire wants to know if Stevie will be bringing any of her paintings along with her, you know, to help with the decoration, to try and make the decor more personal.
Okay, but what would I paint to bring
Like
here?
the one of me. Just kidding. That's probably not appropriate for.
Yeah, probably not.
Did you paint her?
Yeah.
As soon as Maddie hears that, the mood sours. He is not happy. Stevie might not think that it's a big deal she painted her friend naked, but he sure does. Maddie says that he thought she only painted from photos, so hearing that this friend posed naked in real life for her has not only shocked him, but yet again has caused old doubts to resurface.
To be honest, she's giving me bisexual vibes again. Women being together is totally wrong in my culture, and I'm not okay with it.
There's got to be a better way for him to say that. Like, the way that he's expressing that isn't exactly coming across great, is it? Things have now suddenly become really awkward, and it's kind of impossible for Claire not to notice. Like, this isn't exactly a good first impression. Claire's now worried that Mahdi might not be as great as Stevi had hoped, and to be honest, if she saw just how pissed he was outside, she might be even more worried. You see, once they're alone outside the venue, Mahdi confronts Stevi.
You should have told me.
I've already done it. What do you want me to do about it? I can't go back in time. It's different than what you're used to, but it's normal for me.
Now, here's the thing. Maddie might be overreacting, but Stevie's making it worse by not caring about his feelings. Like, the guy is genuinely worried. He's worried that if she's hidden this from him, she might also be hiding other secrets from him. He's scared that she might want something else after they're married, something that he physically can't give her. But Stevie doesn't get it. Like, she says, if the problem was that I was painting guys, then I'd get it, but I'm not. I'd never paint another guy naked. So what's your problem? She asks. To which Maddie's response is, you've never answered my question. Tell me straight, yes or no, are you bisexual?
My problem is you always give me a fake answer.
Okay, well, that's your problem that you can't take the answer that I'm giving you, not my problem. You just said my problem is. That's your problem, not my problem.
Stevie has had enough. She feels like Maddie isn't listening to her. She hates the fact that the man she's meant to be marrying in 2 weeks doesn't trust her. He's questioning her. He's doubting her. So with that, Stevie walks back to the car and leaves Maddie behind. But that reaction has only got Maddie even more concerned. Forget 2 weeks. Maddie is now left questioning if he ever wants to marry Stevie.
If we don't come to a conclusion, or if I just keep getting the vague answer as the previous times, I think we need to postpone the wedding.
Look, regardless of how much money they're set to save by bringing the wedding date forward, I think the right thing to do here is at the very least to hit pause. There's a lot that these two need to figure out, and I'm sorry, but rushing into a wedding to save a few pennies is gonna look like an awfully stupid financial and life decision if it turns out that actually you're just not right for each other.